Hi, Christian here. This is Chris Talks. Welcome to my podcast. Hi guys, welcome back to my podcast. This is Christian and you're tuning again to my podcast, Chris Talks. And with me again, Ali and Janice for this wonderful anniversary special of my podcast.
Yay!
Yay!
Hello!
Happy
Welcome
anniversary!
back again. Alright. So, let's talk about love again, right? So, we're gonna
Yeah.
pick another question from our
Magic bowl.
magic bowl. Alright, go ahead, Janice.
So, first, let's say blah la la.
Ta-da-da-da.
Alright, so our first question is, what do you think about breadcrumbing? What's that?
Well, actually, it's not that new, but let me just get the meaning for you. So it says here on healthline.com, someone who breadcrumbs leads you on by dropping small morsels of interest, an occasional message, phone call, date plan, or social media interaction. These happen sporadically and usually don't have any follow through. So in short, it's paasa in Tagalog.
Yes.
Ah.
So meaning to say it's giving you the signs of affections, but at the end of the day, he will say that no, that's not my intention. We're just friends. But you keep on
Yes.
doing those actions that will give you mixed signals.
Yes, and some examples of that, it says here, being attentive and flirty in person, but not making a move to hang out again.
Oh my god.
Ganun pala yun.
Are you flirty?
Flirty?
Flirtatious.
Yeah.
No, I am bad at flirting.
I flirt a lot.
How about you,
Okay.
Janice?
Someone told me I was.
Ooh.
But I'm not.
But is it?
I'm sure I'm not.
But is it intentionally
no,
you're
no.
flirting or not?
No, I'm not.
Okay. So now with breadcrumbing, so what do you think about it? Is it because in
It
one of the
depends.
articles that I mean in one of my episodes before in my podcast, which is the 15 red flags of dating, breadcrumbing is one of it. So basically, breadcrumbing is a red flag. So do you agree with that?
It depends if the person is aware that he's doing that.
But that's the thing. Breadcrumbing is that person is already aware of it, and then I mean that person is aware of what he's doing towards that person. That's why whenever that person tells you that, what is your intentions, and you were like, no, we're just friends. So meaning to say that person is already aware of what he's doing, but he keeps on doing those actions towards you.
That's a red flag if he's aware of it.
Yeah.
That's true. Me too. I would say that that's a red flag.
Mm.
Have you experienced anything like in the past wherein
Me, when I was in high school. That's
Alright.
why I started this rule in myself
All right.
to always be in label. No, don't be in a relationship
I think that's
without
one
being.
thing that we can address with breadcrumbing. It's like you're dating without labels.
So it's like you're dating, but you're not.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like you're in a talking stage, but you're not really.
Yeah.
What happened to me is we're actually dating. It so happened I was so young, I'm not yet allowed to be in a relationship. So I told him to wait for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then this person one day just told me, well, technically, we don't have anything in between of us. So he just questioned everything after, doing things like asking me on a date. So I think, is that considered as a breadcrumbing? He just turned around and told me that we're just friends, we're not actually in boyfriend and girlfriend, so technically I'm free to go.
Wow, I think this is just an excuse
Yeah.
for people, regardless if you're a man or a woman. I think it's just an excuse for someone who is afraid of committing to another person. It's just, I don't know, if you watch Friends, Chandler is this person, he doesn't want to commit, but honestly, deep inside, he wants that affection only for him. But sometimes you just don't notice that you're becoming this person who is doing or leaving the breadcrumbs. But like we established earlier, this person is aware. That is a red flag because you're intentionally hurting someone while you're benefiting. And I mean benefit that you are enjoying the feeling of getting an affection from someone.
Actually, that's the point. A lot of people who's been doing this breadcrumbing thing is like they're enjoying the affection that they have been receiving from a person. I mean, they don't like any labels, they don't like any commitment relationship, but they enjoy this kind of affection from a person, which they think that, I mean, they would say that it's okay to have no labels at all because they're having this mutual understanding thing that a lot of guys would just, or a lot of girls would just say that it's okay not to have labels. And I think it's a lot, I mean, in this generation right now, a lot of young people would go to a no label relationship because it's easy for them to get out. And I think with breadcrumbing, I think that's most of the people would do. They will give you that time, that effort. They will give you the kind of love language that you deserve, but they don't like any relationship. They don't like commitment because for them, it's easier for them to get out of it. I think that's how the breadcrumbing became a red flag.
I want to say that yes, that's true. It is a red flag if the other person does not agree to be in this non-label thing. But if you have a mutual understanding that this is nothing and that you just enjoy flirting with each other, I think as long as both of you have consent that this is what you're doing and that you're both aware that this is what we are without a label,
Yeah.
then I think it's not a red flag. But if one of the parties would say that I didn't say that we're a couple and the other one is expecting something, then that is when it becomes a red flag.
I agree.
Yeah.
So my question is, have you experienced it? Or did you do
Well,
it?
it's hard to judge because I remember I dated a few people before. We don't have any label because we knew at first that that person will leave the country in the next few days or in the next few months or in the next few years. So meaning we already have, I would agree with Ali that the both parties have agreed to this kind of situation that they will be in a dating stage or in a talking stage, but there will be no labels at all because at the end of the year both of you will not be together because there are factors in the future that will you're going into a relationship will not gonna work, will be separated in the next few years or the next few days. So it really depends on the way the two parties agreed on. So for me before, I'm not sure if that would be a breadcrumbing because both of us agreed on that situation that we're just gonna date but no strings attached to it.
For me, someone who did this breadcrumbing might have, I don't know, issues on themselves because they're running away from this commitment, and we don't. I feel pity, I feel pity about them.
But you know what? I have a friend that he was suffering from this kind of feeling because he was involved in a breadcrumbing thing. Like, he likes a person, and then that person is in another country. That person in the other country is giving so much attention to that person. And then that person is confused because he likes that person in the other country, and he's like, why is that person giving me so much? He was always calling me, he was always texting me, like there's a communication going on, and then at the end of the day, the intention was we're just friends, but I like the person, and then that person keeps on telling that person that we're just friends. So for me, it's already a breadcrumbing because you're already starting to hurt one feeling one's feeling, and you're starting to you're starting to hurt a person emotionally, mentally, because you're giving so much mixed signals to that person. It's already a breadcrumbing. And for me, one thing that I notice when it comes to breadcrumbing, that person in the other country, I think the reason why that person is doing these things, because he wants a stable partner in the future. Like, if something happens here in the country and I go back there in the Philippines, I know someone will catch me and be my partner in real time. It's like you're giving a assurance. You're investing to a person, and then when you reach the level that you don't find any person in the other country, you will go back there, and then it's like you're putting that person as an option.
Yeah, it sounds wrong to me.
Yeah, and I always tell that person, that guy, you should block that person, because that person is just using you. You're just an option for him. You're just an option for that person because he's outside the country, and that person just wants attention and wants that, I think that person just wants the feeling of a person loving you,
That makes sense. I understand
Yeah.
what you mean. Although I gotta say,
Alright.
Oh my God.
Oh my god, do you
Okay.
have...
Okay.
Okay, Ali, do you have any experience about breadcrumbing, or did you breadcrumb a person?
let me just clarify that,
Alright.
as I said, if it's both agreed on,
Alright.
it is not a red flag.
Yes.
First of all, there is a long time in my life that, because I am a very, I wouldn't say picky, because it's a person, you don't really pick them, but I am very cautious about who I will pour my heart into. So that means that if I like someone, this is weird probably, I don't flirt with them. Because I'm so...
I
don't
understand you.
flirt with them, or I'm so nervous that I'm gonna make a mistake. And I might lose this person that I really like. Now, while I don't have anyone that I like, I go to, I don't know where, random places. And I get to chat with them. And it starts as friendship, and then you start to be flirty. Like, it's not intentional that you're flirty, but then you start to send this, cheeky messages. And then you start to feel like, oh wait, something is happening between the two of you. But then I started with, I'm not looking for anything. I'm just here for fun because I like, talking to people. That is all, guys. This is true.
All right.
But I feel so guilty. It is true because I only want to talk to someone. Because as I told Janice earlier, I feel like I am not able to find people that I can really talk to in a deeper level. And so I try to find that person from, let's say, a different part of the world. Doesn't have to be other country, but it can be here in the Philippines, but through apps.
Alright.
So I find them there. And sometimes I meet really good friends, and sometimes you find people that are meant to be flirted with.
Yeah.
So, in the beginning, from the moment, you have to have this agreement that I'm not here for anything. Let us not talk about, getting involved in a relationship. And if ever that something develops, then I'm really sorry, but, we will see how it goes. But what happens is that, throughout the conversation, because I am a listener too. I talk a lot, but I listen a lot as well. So I think that's what a lot of people don't find these days. So when I talk to guys, they would always tell me, oh, you're such a good listener. And then they start to develop these feelings that they start to like me. And then I'm like, oh, they like me. I don't like them. But I have someone to talk to. I know, so guilty. So guilty that I am kind of using them just because I don't have anyone to talk to. But it satisfies that desire that I can talk to someone without being judged. I can talk to someone and feel like they also are listening to me. But at the same time, as the other party develops that feelings, you're constantly hurting them. And I tell them, okay, I think it's gone too far. We have to go back. And I don't want to continue with this anymore. And they would tell me, it's okay if you don't want to be my girlfriend, let's just talk. And I know that he already has feelings, and I'm like, okay, but I don't have feelings for you. What will I do? Just talk to me. And I know that sounds bad, that probably I should have stopped when I could, but I just talked to a lot of people. And in the end, if they find out, what, you're also talking to other people? And I'm like, yeah, because as I said, we have nothing. You know, we are just talking, and we like talking to each other, and sometimes we get flirty, and that's fine. But then, during those times, you know, when I find someone I like, usually out of this chat, because probably from a different source, that's when I stop. When I find someone that I really, really like. I just stop all these connections to other people. And that's when the ghosting comes. Because like, sorry, I have to go. But I don't tell them that I found the one for me. So I'm like, thank you for all the times that you have shared with me, but I'm gone.
But I get your point, because you're, you know, this is the concept of breadcrumbing. A person breadcrumbs because he wants the attention,
Yeah,
the
I want
affection, and you
Or
wanted
even-
it in the very first place, and that's all you want. You
Yes.
don't want any commitment or relationship with that person. So I get your point. But the thing is, yeah, you hurt a person.
Yeah.
That's a bad thing about breadcrumbing.
And I think I really reached that level that I know, for example, this guy, I know I really hurt him. And I told him that we have been talking for years now.
Yeah.
And really, nothing has changed for me. And I'm really, really sorry. And I don't want to hurt you anymore. And he said, it's okay. How sad is that? It's okay. And I'm starting to cry because I'm hurting. Now this person has become my friend. And I'm starting to cry. He's starting to cry because I'm hurting him. But I still want that attention. But I'm like, I also enjoy the, you know, the friendship. But at some point it has to stop because it's becoming hurtful for both parties.
Yeah.
And yeah, sometimes it ends well, sometimes it doesn't. So at some point you have to either leave without telling them, or just tell them and hope that they will just stop. Yeah. Or you will stop yourself. Yeah.
How about you, Janice? Yeah.
What do you if I did it?
Yeah?
I'm not sure. I never had that conversation, like,
Or maybe you're not aware that you're doing it already.
yeah, because we're the same. Ali and I were the same. If I like a person, I'm very shy.
Yeah.
I'm confident when it comes to messaging, calling, but in person I'm very shy. That's why sometimes I don't want to meet a certain person that I really like. And then I end up meeting someone else I'm very comfortable to talk to. That sometimes I call a lot, like in hours. And then I just realize,
Oh my god, I'm doing this too much, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And then, but the other person never confronted me. That's the difference. They never confronted me. Someone else just told me that this guy liked me. But it so happened that, because every time I talk to this person that I'm very comfortable to, I tell him I like someone else.
Yeah, exactly. I do that too. And
Oh my God.
Like I'm telling
Yeah,
them,
like you're just my friend, and I'm
Thank God I don't do breadcrumbing.
It's not breadcrumbing already. We're actually,
we don't know the word for that, but that's what we do. For example, this guy that I'm still friends with, it just happened that way. But it's like, hey, are you there? Like you text them immediately because they're the first person you think about because they give you attention. But you're also friends, and then what is it? What's up? Oh, you know what? I met someone, I really like him. So you talk about that, but then prior to that, there have been so many breadcrumbs left already. So yeah.
yeah, and maybe these people are also a bangers,
Yeah.
You already tell them that I like someone else, but
A
they keep
bangers.
coming.
Okay, let's define a bangers. A
Yeah, a
bangers
bangers.
is like a slang for what we say that are waiting for an opportunity to grab that chance when someone is available.
A waitlister.
So they're
Yeah.
just waiting for you to get broken, and then they will go back to you, to comfort you.
Honestly, I usually do that. If I like a person, I would wait for that person to be single again.
So that's when breadcrumbing happens.
No, that's not breadcrumbing because I'm not giving attention
No,
or
not you,
affection.
the other person.
I don't think so.
Because you're already
Because we never talk whenever that person is still in a relationship.
Hold on. You were saying earlier that you pity these people.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
So now we are in the
I'm
same
kidding
situation.
myself. Yeah, I remember that.
Thinking about it, I agree that
Pero
it's
I
pathetic
had this
sometimes.
I had this thought where we have the second person I'm very comfortable with and the other person that I really like, but I still give consideration that I might end up choosing.
That's breadcrumbing. You're putting those people as an options.
Is it like
You're
back
putting,
up?
you're,
But I'm
you're
a
putting
girl.
them. You're
I'm a
putting
girl,
them
right?
as options.
Boys are hunters and we are
Boys are. We are not just
Excuse me,
hunters.
huh?
We're prayers. We're prayers.
Wait,
Okay.
that's my point. Like I'm still giving consideration, and if things continue, there's a big chance I'll choose this.
Okay, wait a minute. Let me just switch the roles.
Okay.
Let's say that you are a guy and these are two girls. You're talking to the first girl, but then this guy found another one. But then if it didn't work out with you, so he will choose the.
But
she
we're
will-
in a
OMG.
dating
The other one.
stage, right?
I think I've done that before.
Okay.
When I was in high school,
Okay.
I dated two girls.
Do they know?
No, I dated two girls because I feel like I need option
You felt like you need options. Why?
because the other girl likes a long-term talking stage or dating stage, but the other girl wanted to have a relationship right away. But I like the person I love the girl who wanted a longer talking stage or dating stage, because that girl was the ideal girl that I was looking for back then. And then the other girl, which is my option, because I just want to have a relationship right away. So it's a win-win situation for me back then. But again, I know it's a bad
God.
thing.
We are
It's
rolling
really
our
hard.
eyes.
This is really hard.
Sorry. So that's breadcrumbing. I think.
We have
All right. So
Okay, I think that's okay. Well,
should
well,
we?
should we continue with that? So we learned that apparently all of us have been experiencing and have been the main contributor of the breadcrumbs.
oh my god, we should clean up our mess next time.
I love that line.
Oh my god.
Okay,
Okay.
we are so guilty and we are sorry for that, but it's in the past. We are still learning, so let's learn more.
All right.
We have another question.
So
Yeah.
since we tag breadcrumbing as red flag, now our second question is: can a green flag be a red flag eventually?
So how about you? Do you think green flag can also be a red flag?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe it happens to be on that stage, first stage, it's a green flag. Then eventually when you, let's say, get married, being so sociable would be hard on, let's say, could be a red flag when you're already married. It's a different stage. You have a different priority now.
So you mean that like when two people are not yet married, being sociable can be a green or a positive thing, but when they get married, being too sociable is gonna be a red flag. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, because when you are married, you're putting borders already,
Yes,
restrictions, because you're not anymore single. So
I think that's a good point to emphasize that there should be a border. It can be a red flag eventually, but only if you allow it. Only if you don't put your borders, right? Like you can still be friends with the opposite sex. Like your husband can still have female friends, but not to the point that they're left alone. They drink a lot.
but I
That's,
think it's allowable if the both of you communicated things well.
Yes, exactly.
Because even though you allow your husband or your wife to go out and have party or socialize with different with the opposite sex, I think it's still about how you communicated these things with each other. Because even though you allow that person, what if that person jump out of the border? So it's not just about talking stage, it's about having too much fun with that person. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Too much fun. So if that's the level, or if that's the thing that happened already, that's already, you know, a red flag for me. So I think it's not just about giving permission, it's about the both of you,
The agreement.
agreement, and communicating things very well, because you're in a relationship already, so you need to really work it out.
How about you? Do you have any like idea what kind of green flag can be a red flag?
I think it depends, like you say, and it's very situational. For example, if someone is the type of person who assures you or is worthy, his love
Worthy.
language or his or her love language is by expressing himself or herself through words, it can be a green flag in the beginning if you are assured that you're the only one and that you don't have to worry about this, blah blah blah. But it becomes, for me, it becomes a red flag if you're only saying that. Like now, when it comes to marriage, you say that don't worry, you try to assure the person, but your act doesn't match what you're saying. So I think that it can be a red flag if something is overdone without action matched with it. So do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When it comes to in a relationship already, it's about actions more than
The words. Yes, yes. I think we really have to find balance. So like my husband, he is the type of person who's really doing things accordingly. Like it's more on act. I would prefer that actually, that he's doing it rather than only talking and not doing anything. But he's the opposite. But he also needs to work on his communication part. But it's not like it's not a bad thing. But you know, sometimes it helps if it's balanced.
Yeah. Actually, I just want to make the question on the other way around. Like,
Yeah.
Red
can
flag.
a red flag be a green flag?
Let's think for a moment.
Actually, I already have an answer
Okay.
for that.
Go ahead.
Because I always love bomb a person. If I really love that person, I really
Love
give
bomb.
too much to that person, like time, effort. I really exert too much, and sometimes people would look at me as a red flag already because I've love bombing a person. But you know what? I just want that person to really give me a chance, because sometimes if without love bombing, if without that person giving you so much time and effort, who would give that to you, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes that a lot of people right now would find a person who would give so much time and effort to you, right? Yeah, like you guys, you want a person who would give time and effort. And for me, sometimes it's overwhelming, right? But have you asked yourself that with this kind of time and effort would benefit you, because you would feel like you're secured? I mean, you have assurance because that person really likes you. So would you see that red flag as a green flag for you?
I would approach this with caution, because like you said, it can be overwhelming for people. It's what we were talking about in one of your previous episodes.
Yeah.
That maybe they're overwhelmed by that. So I think that it can be a green flag once you finally found what works for both of you in the relationship. If your partner is the type of person who likes this kind of approach, then I think in the beginning it can be overwhelming, but through the years you get to learn each other's, quirks and what's different between your relationship, and it will change. It will be a green flag. But if you have totally different ideas or views of how you want to be loved, then I guess the red flag will never be a green flag unless you communicate. So
Exactly.
So, but as
Exactly.
I said, like you said, if they give you a chance, it can be a green flag, but you really have to work on it and agree.
Yes.
You have to talk about it.
I think one good advice for those people who love bomb a person is that when you experience love bombing, talk to that person. Like, can we just take it slowly,
Yeah, or lower the intensity.
lower the intensity, or
Yeah.
probably can you just stop doing this too much? I think it's a matter of how you think, how you guys talk about things, and for you to really like, if you really like to work it out or to really make the relationship happen, it's really about you guys talking what needs to be done,
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, it's still about communicating, right? So, love bombing for me, it's a red flag, but possibly can be a green flag. Especially for me, like, my love language is quality time and physical touch. So, whenever a person gives time towards me, I would really appreciate that. So, even though it's too much, I'm willing to say that I'm willing to say that to the person that, you know what, you're giving too much time. Maybe we can just give schedule probably,
Yes.
or work it out on the weekends, probably like that. So for me, yeah, it's really about how you think you both, I mean, the two parties work things out.
Yes, I agree.
For me, I look love bombing in a different. I don't know. This is what I think about love bombing. For me is really a green flag from the start, right? When you give a flower to a girl, that's affection, right? So that's a green flag supposed to be. But because nowadays people do this excess, trying to prove something to you, then eventually change, and then this love bombing start to pop up and become a red flag. But in reality, giving you gifts or giving attention to you is actually a green flag in the first place. So what really happened is, what you need to do is just be consistent to prove that you are authentic. You're really giving the truth, because I'm love bombing the person I really like.
Yeah, I know, because you're telling me
Yeah.
what
But what
kind of gifts
happened-
you want to give to a
Yeah,
guy.
and what happened is, this person told to me that he was feeling pressured. So, good thing he communicated his feelings. So,
Otherwise, you wouldn't know.
Yeah.
and then I take it slowly, but at the same time I make sure that what I did from the first time would be the same up until now. So for 1 year I've been doing it since then. And then the last time he told me, he never mentioned about pressure anymore. He started to appreciate it.
See, so it
See,
really
if
works.
if it's authentic, it's all right. It's a green flag.
Yeah. I guess one also
And
I've
consistent.
experienced lately is that when I'm talking to some person lately in the office, and then yeah, I'm giving too much attention to the person. Like, I'm always asking that person to go out, have a coffee or dinner with me, and then I know it's overwhelming to that person. It's too much for that person. So that person tried to tell me that, you know what, I'm busy, and you know what, we can do this next time. I mean, at least I know that I'm giving too much. At least I think it's a good thing that that person tells you what needs to be done, because sometimes I'm giving too much attention to that person, giving too much time and effort. Sometimes I forgot that I'm becoming too overwhelming.
Yeah.
You know
So-
what? I just wanna. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
My takeaway, my takeaway is between breadcrumbing, whether it's breadcrumbing or love bombing, what is important is you give your partner or your loved one assurance that what you're feeling right now is authentic, and always keep that consistent and communicated as well. So that's my takeaway. How about you?
Just one point before my takeaway.
Yeah, sure.
Because this is about love, and we don't want to limit love to just our partners. But I think that since we are talking about, overwhelming them with our showing of affection, I think it also applies to friends. And I think that sometimes when I really like someone, I have a tendency to constantly invite this person, like, oh, let's go out today, tomorrow, the next day. And then I realize that there's nothing left to talk about because you go every day. But then we have to, like you said, you're just excited to show that you really like this person. But you have to take a step back and say that that person has a life as well.
Yeah.
And that when there's space, things are much better. It's the same with resting. When you are tired, you want to think again. You have to take a rest, and so you can make your brain function even better. So it's the same with friendship and relationships. You need break to grow together as a better couple, or to have better friendship. And my takeaway basically is just to be cautious about how much attention you're giving someone, and if you approach the person the way that they wanted to be approached. But like Johnny said, the most important thing is that you tell them, you communicate with them. And if this is something, and if you're in the stage that's not really deep, like with your friends, you just notice that, oh my god, I am inviting my friend too often. Just take a step back. You don't need to say that, you know what? Like, you don't need to have that deep conversation. You just need to take a short break and then assess what kind of friendship you're in. I have friends that I talk to. I have a quarterly friend.
Yeah.
I have a monthly friend. I have a weekly
Daily friend?
My daily friend is Rastro.
Oh.
So, but yeah, I have friends that I told her that, you know what, you're my quarterly friend. What? Because we meet every 3 months. Do you know that? Like, no. But I like her so much that I have to stop that. And I'm like, okay, I need to do my own thing. She has her own life, and I also have a kid.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I have to focus on other things. So anyway, takeaway is that be cautious, be communicative, and be sensitive to others' needs, to your partner or your friends.
Yeah. For me naman, my friends would always tell me that, because I'm a love bomber. Yeah. I admit it. I'm a love bomber. So my friends would always say to me that you have to take things slowly. You have to take things in moderate. And always know your intentions and ask what is the intention of that person towards you. You need to have a two-way communication with that person so that both of you will know if you're giving too much or you're giving not enough.
Oh, I remember. Sorry.
Right.
I remember the person I like. I made a confession first. I like you, like that. And then this person told me, no, I think you're just joking. And then that's when I start trying to prove myself. If I give you this kind of gift, maybe you would appreciate it, because maybe you would realize that this is a special gift, and then so on and so forth. I just remembered. Go ahead.
Alright. So that's my takeaway. It's just the things that my friends would always remind me, because I'm a love bomber. So every time that I would be dating someone and I will share that experience with my friends, they would always say that, you know what, just take things slowly and moderate, and just know the intentions of the both of you. And then if it's not enough, then do exert more effort. And then if it's too much, then take things lighter. And then just enjoy the moment with a person. Stop assuming and stop expecting too much.
And start communicating.
Yeah. That's right.
So that's good.
Yeah, alright. Thanks again for joining me, Janice and Ali. Ali, do you want to invite them to your podcast?
Yeah, thank you. So I would like to invite you to my podcast. It's Small Girl Abroad. You can find it on Spotify and other digital platforms. So yeah, see you there.
Alright, thanks again for joining me, and see you again on my next episode. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.